doing good. Yeah. So this is my first YouTube video and it's a video of a movie review and the movie that I'm going to review is Ace in the Hole, which released in the year 1951. Some people may know it by the name The Big Carnival. So this movie released in the year 1951 with the name Ace in the Hole, but later on the producers, due to some reason which I will be revealing as the video goes by, to The Big Carnival. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah. So Ace in the Hole. This movie came out in the year 1951. It is directed by Billy Wilder. Billy Wilder is known to the world as one of the greatest directors of Hollywood. Whenever you search in Google top 10 best directors of all time, I think people like Billy Wilder and John Huston are always there in all the lists. And the actors involved are also very major stars. Kirk Douglas, Jan Sterling, and many other notable people in the cast. Even after such big names associated with the movie, this movie was a box office failure. Now, why it was a box office failure is that this movie came out in the year 1951, and the period 1950 to 1970 is considered to be the golden age of Hollywood. Now, when you say something is of golden age, that means something new is happening, something fantastic is happening, the industry is booming, or something never seen before is happening. And when you think about a film industry, the immediate synonyms that come to your mind are media, mass communication, cinema, journalism. So these are the elements that get associated with, whenever you talk about Hollywood or a film industry in general. This movie pokes a negative slap on all these elements. So, because of this reason, some of the professionals who were involved in those domains, they felt in case this movie gets connected, in case this movie uh, spreads among the audiences, then the audiences may look at their industry with a different eye. As a result, it may not prosper in the future. So I think this scare allowed the people to give a poor word of mouth to this movie, and also most of the audiences at the time always had an impression that whenever they go and watch a movie, they have to come out with a smile. It has to be some sort of a happy ending. This movie doesn't do that. It has a very very sad ending, and it some way even makes the viewer responsible for whatever is happening in the movie. So that is a sort of guilt, that is a sort of cynicism this movie installs in the viewer. So I think all these elements somewhere or the other added up, and this movie did not receive well and was a box office failure. However, the producers tried their best. They tried to re-release it with a different name, and that is The Big Carnival. The Big Carnival sounds a bit comic, sounds a bit happy. So the producers thought maybe, the viewers will change their mind and come and watch the movie. But I don't think the title alone will help to change the impression the movie creates. The material of this movie is very dark. It shows a very bad side of human nature, and that this is something that the people were not able to digest, or they were not ready to digest at that time. Yeah. So when you talk about Billy Wilder movies, I think when I think about Billy Wilder, the very next person who comes to my mind is Jack Lemmon. Jack Lemmon and Billy Wilder, I think they have done around 7 movies together, and all the movies are very widely acclaimed, very critically acclaimed, and are big box office successes. I think some of the movies which even you people might have heard it many times whenever, in case you're searching in Google, the best movies of all time, the top 10 best movies of all time, the top 50 best movies of all time. I think these two movies are generally always there, The Apartment and Some Like It Hot. So, even when you search top 10 best movies of Billy Wilder, I think The Apartment and Some Like It Hot will always be at number one and number two position. They're always interchangeable. So, now where does Ace in the Hole fit in that uh, 10 series? I think Ace in the Hole should come either third or fourth or fifth. In one of the videos which I have gone through while researching the material for this video, I think in that video, the host who once interviewed Billy Wilder quoted the statement Billy Wilder had given with respect to Ace in the Hole. There, Billy Wilder says, Ace in the Hole is by far the best movie he has done. But unfortunately, he did not get a proper ROI for that movie. I think that is one of the reasons I felt Billy Wilder distanced himself from Ace in the Hole, and also from the theme that he had projected in the movie, because his forthcoming movies after Ace in the Hole, I think, played it safe. Uh, they were all commercial success. He did not bring in that sort of dark and cynical content in any of his forthcoming movies since Ace in the Hole. But Ace in the Hole, according to many critics, according to many audiences, according to many people, still remains the most cynical and the dark movie that Billy Wilder has directed. And from my perspective, I think it is the most cynical and dark movie that I have seen. I've seen a lot of movies which have this sort of noir content, which have this sort of dark content, which have this sort of satire content. I think among all of this, Ace in the Hole really hits the audiences hard. This is one of those movies where the viewers feel the guilt that they are also equally responsible for whatever act that is shown in the movie. So, what exactly is Ace in the Hole? What exactly it's all about? I will not give you all the details. I will not reveal any spoilers because I really want you people to watch this movie, understand the movie, understand the consequences of whatever is being shown in the movie, and act accordingly. So, basically, this movie is inspired by a true incident where a person gets stuck in a cave. He's searching for something. He has a fondness or hobby of such sort of items. So he has gone into the cave in search of those items. But unfortunately, he gets stuck in the cave and in a very bad position. Like, I think most of his lower body gets stuck beneath the earth. Only the upper portion above the chest is free, and the position in which he is stuck, I think he gets buried by a roof of stones. So in case if he tries to do a forceful movement, there's a possibility that the stones may come cracking on him. The entire mountain that is making up the cave will come cracking on him. So, since he's stuck and since he has not returned to his home for a very long time, so his family members were worried. They informed the nearby locals that their man has not come back. And since it was a very deserted area, I think a immediate rescue operation could not be conducted. But fortunately or unfortunately, there was a media personnel who was present at the time, and he tried to conduct the rescue operation because the local police were not ready to help because their head was not nearby. They haven't got the orders to conduct the rescue operation yet. So this media person, he senses there is something potential for him, something very groundbreaking, something which he can use in his favor to make a big news headline. He also becomes quite ambitious that he can make something from this situation, because of which I think news agencies will be after him for the next 1 or 2 weeks. So this was uh, written down in a very small article in the newspaper at that time. So this small article was responsible for the making of this movie, and a similar theme has been projected in the movie, where a news reporter played by Kirk Douglas, the character's name is Chuck Tatum. He sees the situation as a potential deal breaker for him, and it turns out to be a huge deal breaker for him. Uh, so, this is how the movie starts, and I think after that, you may have already sensed what has happened. So, there are many other elements also involved, like the cunningness and greed of Jan Sterling's character, who is the wife of the victim, and there are many other elements which I think it's good that you interpret it as per your conscience. This movie really installs a sense of guilt in the viewers. When I first saw the movie, I also felt equally guilty uh, for the victim's uh, condition, and as the movie, like once the movie ends, I almost sat back for around 10 to 15 minutes, and I was unable to come out of that guilt, the darkness that my mind got surrounded. It was too much to take. And the best part is, this is the year 2022, it is the 20th century, and I am watching this movie almost 50 or 60 years after, and still I feel that sort of guilt and cynicism from this movie. So just imagine the amount of uh, negative impact it would have it created at the time of its release. So no wonder it got a very negative word of mouth from some people who felt that it's not good for their profession. So yeah, so that is a brief plot of Ace in the Hole. So coming to the review of the movie, let's start with direction. Billy Wilder, no comments. This movie is a top-notch movie. I think everything with respect to direction, like the storytelling, the plot, the way the sets are conducted, the way the sets are levied, and the screenplay, the cinematography, I think everything is perfect. I don't see any shot in this movie which is just added in order to extend the movie or make it more than 2 hours. I think every shot has its own significance and adds up to the other shot. I think people need to keenly follow as to what is happening in each and every shot. Only then they understand the purpose why this movie is made. Uh, Let me share with you a very small story. I basically I'm not a fan of movies that are like too old. I have seen most of the movies, like most of the movies that I have seen are after 1990s. The movie that actually broke this ideology of mine that the old movies I won't be able to connect because yeah I have seen most of the recent movies, so I think whatever is shown in the old movies I think I have already watched and that too in a colored format, so I don't think those movies will cater to my taste buds. But after I watched the 1979 movie Being There, I think that is where uh, things started changing in my mind that not all the movies belong to that sort of uh, category where as the time progresses these movies won't be relevant, and Ace in the Hole belongs to the category of being timeless. I think you need to really credit Billy Wilder's vision, although he might be aware of the consequence that the movie may create a lot of financial troubles to him, but he's understanding that this movie will have a message and will really instruct the audiences and the coming generations of what can happen if the media is misused. It can even go to an extent of spoiling the lives of the people. So I think Billy Wilder has been very brave. So in terms of direction, this movie really deserves a 10 out of 10. Another great thing about this movie is the dialogue. The dialogues of this movie are really great. The wittiness, the cheesiness, the salviness, and of course, since most of the dialogues come from Kirk Douglas, I think there is an added sexiness to the dialogues. I think when I heard those dialogues, I felt an urge that I need to use these dialogues in my daily life so that even people can feel the same things which I just said you in a few moments back towards me, of course. So, yeah, and coming to the performances of the movie, now when you are showing such a cynical theme, you need to have a cynical character, via which you can feel that dark, cynical, that vicious message. And I cannot imagine anyone apart from Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster to portray a role with that amount of bastardness and with that amount of energy. Kirk Douglas does it with his charismatic charm. He easily portrays the ambition, the greed, the cunningness, and all the negative qualities which a bad man has in order to make a name quickly. I think all those things Kirk Douglas is able to show brilliantly. There is no complaint. I think right from scene one, you can feel this character is not good. This is something which I don't want to be, sort of a feeling. And I think not only Kirk Douglas, there are many other uh, actors, the surrounding actors also do a great job. I have gone through many reviews of this movie. I think everyone have praised Kirk Douglas, but I haven't seen a praise for the guy who plays the role of the victim. I think his real name is Benedict, and he plays the role of Leo, who is the victim in the movie. At one side, you feel that you feel an utmost sense of animosity towards Kirk Douglas's character, but quite the contrary, you feel that pain, you feel that sympathy for the victim, and that is because the way Benedict plays that role, his expressions, his the way he has portrayed the feeling just by his face, because the other half of his body is completely covered under earth. So his expressions, the expressions that he conveys from his face are really top notch. You can feel for the character, and I think he has he was able to connect those feelings well with his dialogues, which really hit the viewers quite hard. Although Kirk Douglas is the heart of the movie, but the soul of the movie remains intact because of the Benedict's character, who is the victim. So, in terms of dialogues and in terms of performances, this movie has no complaints at all. It is a masterfully acted movie. The dialogue delivery is everything thoroughly good, and I think even in this regard, I would give a 10 out of 10 in terms of performances. On a whole, like since I'm a huge fan of this movie, it's very difficult for me to take out a weakness. I'm a huge fan of Billy Wilder too, and since I've watched a lot of his movies, and since I know which movie, uh, like what are the differences between various movies, like how much effort the director has put in order to make the movies. I think considering all those, I do not know why I see Ace in the Hole to be Billy Wilder's best work. And since it is one of my favorite movies, and since it is coming from one of my favorite directors, I cannot rate it below 10. But I wouldn't urge the same thing to my viewers that this movie might be the best movie of Billy Wilder. Everyone have their own taste buds, and I think that need to be respected. But my taste buds are only catered by Ace in the Hole. So yeah, so this is my review of Ace in the Hole. I would really give it 10 out of 10, and yeah, this is one of those very rare movies which has a message at its heart, and I urge my viewers to really understand the message and use the social media wisely, keeping humanity at its core. I think these days the way the media is being used, uh, it is being used extensively. It's almost like the media is so powerful that it can even eradicate a government of the nation. So it is so powerful. So people really need to use their social presence very wisely, and it has to be for the sole purpose of maintaining humanity, maintaining peace among the people. And we are very fortunate that we have people like Billy Wilder who has taken a very courageous step to direct such a risky movie. And I hope there are many more directors out there who understand their responsibility towards the society, who understand the very fact that movies are not just for box offices but also for, you know, spreading out a social message, because movies are the biggest mass communication tools, are the biggest tools for influencing people. I think one good movie can really inspire the entire world to be a better place, or to make the world a better place to live in. Uh, so that's my review of Ace in the Hole, and that's what. And I would really urge the viewers to watch this movie. So basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to review movies which are not that well recognized but are critically acclaimed. So I would like to review movies which are not that well recognized or which people haven't watched, like for example Is in the Hole. I think the next movie that I would uh, review will be Sexy Beast. Sexy Beast is also one of those movies which I don't think many people haven't many people have watched, and it is also one of the greatest crime movies out there. I think in the year 2006, the Time Out magazine has listed this movie as the 15th greatest British movie. But later on, I think the updated version of the Time Out magazine shows that the movie has been removed from the list of the greatest British movies. That's because many other movies have come and have pushed it out of the list. But there was a time where it was among the greatest British movies of all time. So yeah, I would make a review on Sexy Beast. And in case you people have any sort of suggestions of any such sort of movies, please let me know in the comments. I will try my best to review it. Yeah, so that's it, people. That's my first video. I know it's a bit crappy, but you need to start from somewhere. That is what great people say. You gotta start from somewhere. Automatically, the course will take care of itself. And yeah, yeah, people, be happy, stay safe, and peace out.